Okay, so I'm doing a 10-week series on how to get your business to profit. It's 10 weeks to a profiting business here. So if you're starting off from scratch, you're going to want to, So if you're making a business, you already either know you're giving a service or a product and you already know what that is. Now, if you haven't branded it, you have to get branding done. If you don't have a huge or even any budget for branding, don't worry. I have been in this situation before, and I have gotten companies off the ground into profiting from having nearly no budget, meaning like buying someone a coffee or $50 for their time, right? So, and doing it a lot myself. So if that's you, don't worry, have no fear. I am here to help you out. So first off, I'm gonna say the 3 top apps that I use are Logo Maker, Flyer, and I can't think of the other one. I'm gonna link it below. Or maybe I won't. If I remember, I will. But my point is you can get free apps that can create logos. You're just gonna have to create them. They give you the outline, they give you the form, they give you the like blueprint on how to do it. But these apps are free, and you can create a lot of your own stuff. And then you're going to want to stay consistent with your branding. You don't want your branding to change too much. You're gonna wanna have a logo that you put on nearly everything you do, every ad you put out there, every promotional post that you do make. You're going to want to have your logo on it so that people start to recognize you. A lot of, like most cases, people, once they see something about 7 to 9 times, that's when they actually start to recognize it. It does take some time, so that's why you want to stay consistent so that people start to gain a familiarity with your brand. Also, it is very smart and beneficial if you link yourself directly with your brand, meaning have your face on it, have your voice in it, because then people are going to already be getting more and more comfortable with you as a person, with your brand, and they're becoming more familiar with your brand. They feel like they're becoming more familiar with you. So starting there, and this alone can take a while to do, a while to develop. A lot of the things I did when I first started out, so when I first started my first company, this was, I want to say like 8 years ago. It was a leggings company, and I got it into 13 stores in Florida from nothing. It was really awesome. I didn't have any money to really invest into it. I had to start from scratch with that. And also I was paying all my own everything, right? So like some people out there have a little bit more of a cushiony situation. I'm just saying that so that if you don't, this is something you can do if you are wanting to. It does take a little bit more grit to set aside time for yourself, because you don't want to drive yourself insane with work to support yourself and then growing a company. And then it can sometimes kind of feel like, what am I even doing? But this is a way to do that where you don't have to spend money, okay? Free apps to create your logo, free apps to create your color scheme. There are even platforms where you can test a website. I would say hold off on the website. We'll dive into that for the next video, because you're really going to want to test the logo and your color scheme first, and your mission statement and your promotion of your product or your brand. So once you have your logo, and once you have your color scheme, and once you have your mission statement, and you have the whole feel of your company outlined, and it is either typed or on a flyer or in some sort of way where you can present it to someone to promote, this is my product, or this is my service, this is my company, I suggest sending it to friends and family and say, hey, I'm not promoting this to you to purchase. I want to know, when I send this to you, what are your first thoughts? And I need you to be honest with me. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. I just need to know, what do you think of first? Can you do that? When they say yes, send it to them. Or even better yet, do it in person, because then you can see their facial reactions. You can see their true reaction to what they're reading, what you're showing them, what they're presenting to you. If they laugh and they're like, what even is this? You're gonna have to brand it better. Someone should be able to look at what you're presenting to them and know exactly what you're selling, know exactly what it's about, and it should be very clear cut. You don't need all the fluff in the presentation. The backstory and the connection and stuff, that can be on your website when you build that. But when you present your product or your service, I encourage you to have on this flyer or on this presentation that you're going to show people the service or product that you offer very plainly. What is it? What problem does it solve? For example, let's say this is my product. I would say, are you lacking that authentic, traditional flavor on what I'd be presenting to people, right? It'd be like a green background with like some pink flowers. And I would say, are you lacking that authentic traditional flavor? This would be pictured and it would say, lack no more, $10.99. Someone would see it. They'd be like, you're selling me rice vinegar. Yep. That's literally what I'm doing. That's what you want. You want someone to see what you're presenting to them and then to say exactly what you're doing. But if I have this and it's a picture of this on a dark blue background and it says, from a family of homegrown roots in Wisconsin, super excited to bring to you a rice vinegar from the traditional flavors of the homegrown life. Someone might see that and be like, is this for like a restaurant? How much is it? The color scheme maybe doesn't really match. It's less direct. And what you want for your branding and your logo and your product or your service is you want it to be very easy for someone to say, that's the problem it solves, that's what they have to offer, and that's what they're asking for the price. For most businesses, that's what you're gonna want. Yeah, and next week, I'm gonna go over the next steps, and I would like to know if you did this and how it's going for you. Remember, use free apps. You don't have to do anything crazy. And if you don't have a physical product, that's fine. We can talk about how you can make money before you even have to invest into your product or your service or brand. With that, then you just have to make sure that you have a very strong follow through and you aren't going to abandon the product or service after people have paid for it. You have to actually deliver on that on the back end to keep your business growing and going. But that is the first step into starting a profitable company. And like I said, this is 10 weeks to business profit. So this is week number 1. We are going to go all the way through how we're going to be profiting at 10 weeks. So follow me through this, follow the steps. We're all going to be in the process of profiting, hopefully around week 8. So stay tuned. We're all doing this and we're going to get there. And this is going to be for people or anybody who needs a way to do this without money up front, without large investments into a company. And that's what we're doing. See you next week.